Well, welcome back to the channel. You joined me at Hethel, one of my favourite places in the world, one of the most special places to me as a car fan, but as a Lotus fan. I first came here aged 9 when my mother worked at the factory, and I've been coming here ever since on a regular basis. But this is the first time I've been here and felt like significant change has come on. We've got the new buildings behind us that are all brand new, looking very shiny, very modern, and attached, but still attached to the old factory. So there's that combination of modern and new. Speaking of modern and new, here to see the launch of the new Emira, the first new Lotus for many years, if you don't count the Avaya, and it's going to be the last combustion engine car that comes from Hethel, comes from Lotus. So yeah, join me in a moment. We're going to watch the press release. We're going to have a bit of a sit down and have a look at the car, and then we'll join you inside. Join me inside, shall I say, when we see the car a little bit more up close. There we have it. The Emira is now in the world, and I have to say it looks fantastic. Didn't really catch much of the details about it, so I didn't really get a feel for what it's like under the skin, but I get the impression that it's basically a scaled down, widened Evora style platform, still that aluminium sort of subframe, with a Toyota V6 in the back of the faster one and an AMG 4-cylinder turbocharged engine in the less powerful version. In the flesh, I don't know whether it comes across in the pictures that I'm showing you at the moment, but it looks really nice and compact. It looks really small and sort of very Lotus-like. It's got a really nice sort of size on the road. I mean, I imagine if you put it next to a 911, the 911 is going to look huge. So from that point of view, I'm really impressed with what they've managed to do, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. We're hopefully going to see it a little bit more up close in a second, so let's cut some footage of that. So I'm back home now and editing the video that you're watching right now, and it's quite obvious to me that I haven't really talked about anything statistic-wise with this car. I was busy filming, not really paying attention to what they were saying, and yeah, it's very difficult to do all these different things at once. So I thought I'll do a little voiceover now that I've got some of the tech specs in front of me. Although they're not the most detailed tech specs, they're sort of a bit vague, and I think Lotus are keeping a lot of their cards close to their chest. So starting with cost, it's going to start at under £60,000, which is quite amazing, and I'm not quite sure what that's going to do to Evora values, but yeah, it's going to start under £60,000, so quite a bit cheaper actually than the cheapest Evoras at the moment. It's 4.4 meters long, 1.9, almost 1.9 meters wide. It's 1.2 meters high and has a wheelbase of just over 2.5 meters. It's going to feature two engines, one 2-litre 4-cylinder from AMG and another 3.5-litre V6 from Toyota. I suspect if it isn't the same as the one that's currently in the Evora now, it will be very closely related. In the 4-cylinder V6 engine, you'll get a DCT option. That will be the only option for the 4-cylinder, but if you go for the V6 you can have a manual or a torque converter automatic, and yeah, it depends on what sort of driving style as to which one of those you'll fancy the most. The car's going to have between 360 and 400 horsepower depending on what version of the engines you go for. It says around 430 newton meters of torque. Not quite sure what engine that's for, whether or not it's for the V6 or for the 4-cylinder. It's going to hit 60 in 4.5 seconds and will go up to 180 miles an hour. Its lightest version is going to be 1,405 kilos, so quite heavy for a Lotus, but probably about the right kind of weight. Maybe not the right kind of weight, but it's the normal kind of weight that you would expect for something in that kind of in that sector, with the amount of infotainment and luxury and various other things that Lotus have thrown in there. So not as light as what we're used to, but not exactly overweight either. And then you've got all the usual sort of gubbins. So you've got a 10-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, keyless go, cruise control, blah 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 blah, lots of other stuff that we're not bothered about on a sports car. We just want to know how it drives, and it'll be a while before I get my hands on one and get to tell you what that's like. But yeah, so that's the tech specs and a bit of waffle from me. So there we are. The Emira is launched, it's out there, I've seen it, you've seen it, the world has seen it, and it looks fantastic. Really impressed with the way it looks. I think it's a spot-on thing. It's totally a Lotus. I think the proportions are fantastic. It sits really nicely. It's got all of the hallmarks that a proper Lotus should, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So really pleased to see it. It's been a wonderful but wet evening. We've been absolutely drenched. You know, typical British summer has come to wreak havoc with us again, but at the end of the day, you know, there is a new Lotus in the world, and that is a good thing. I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's a little bit rushed. We had a few technical difficulties with the weather, and it meant that filming certain things was quite difficult. So hopefully I've got enough footage, enough B-roll to keep you guys happy. But yeah, if you did like the video, remember to hit that like button and give me a subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers ASAP. So yeah, so I'd love if you would subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Bye-bye.